Welcome back, warriors. To those of you who've been walking this path with us, we see you, we respect you, and we thank you for your unwavering support. Your commitment to the GrimFace movement reminds us that there are still those who refuse to bow to the chaos of this modern world. And to our new viewers, welcome. You've found your way here for a reason, and we invite you to join us. Hit that subscribe button on both GrimFace Motivation and GrimFace Financial, and become part of a movement that refuses to let mediocrity win. Today, we face a world that is constantly testing us. The values of honor, integrity, and discipline, once the foundation of strength, are under siege. We are bombarded by endless temptations, poisoned by a media machine that thrives on our distractions, and seduced by the illusion of comfort. Everywhere we look, we're told to give in, to let go, to take the easy path. But we are not like the rest. We stand as warriors in the ruins of what once was, refusing to let our virtues erode. Because without honor, we are nothing. Without integrity, we are hollow. And without discipline, we are slaves to our impulses. The path we walk is not easy, but it is necessary. It is the path of the warrior spirit, the spirit that conquers not just enemies, but the greatest opponent of all, ourselves. In today's video, we'll take on the lessons that are vital to this journey. We'll talk about self-discipline, the key to true freedom. We'll confront the need to detach from external validation, to rise above the noise of the world. We'll reflect on memento mori, the inevitability of death, and how it fuels a life of purpose. We'll embrace adversity, the forge that sharpens our blade, and the power of gratitude to see abundance where others see scarcity. And we'll remind ourselves to live in the present moment, where all action, all life, truly exists. This is a call to action, to conquer your goals, to embrace your struggles, to rise above a world that wants you weak. We are GrimFace. We are warriors. And together, we will rebuild what the world has forgotten. So subscribe, share, and let's build a community that stands unshaken in a world desperate to see us fall. Lesson 1. Control what you can, accept what you can't. Have you ever felt like the world was stacked against you? Like the universe delights in throwing chaos at your feet, daring you to stumble? You're not alone. But let me tell you something. There's a secret weapon you've been ignoring, a blade you've left sheathed. That weapon is control. Not control over the world. No, that's a fool's errand. You'll never stop the storms from rolling in, or the tides from rising. You'll never silence the whispers of those who misunderstand you, or change the fickle nature of fate itself. But within you, within the fortress of your mind, there lies a power no storm, no critic, no tragedy can touch. It's the power to control how you think, how you act, how you respond. The great Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Imagine your life divided into two realms, the things within your grasp and the things forever outside it. What's in your grasp? Your thoughts, your decisions, your ability to rise again and again, no matter how many times the world tries to bury you. What lies beyond? The opinions of others, the outcomes of your efforts, the unpredictable hand of destiny. Here's the truth. No one tells you. Peace of mind is not given. It is forged. And it's forged in the fires of that dichotomy. The moment you stop chasing control over the uncontrollable, you free yourself. You cut the chains of anxiety, frustration, and despair. You become untouchable, not because the storms cease, but because you no longer fear getting wet. But let me warn you, this path isn't for the faint-hearted. It requires brutal honesty. It demands that you confront your weaknesses, your ego, your endless desire to control what cannot be controlled. It means staring into the mirror and admitting, I am not the master of this universe, but I am the master of myself. Think about this. You have no control over whether others will applaud or criticize you, but you have every control over whether their words define you. You have no control over whether your plans will succeed, but you have every control over how you show up to face the battle. And here's the paradox. The more you focus on controlling what's within, the more power you wield over what's without. People admire the unshaken. They fear those who stand firm amid chaos. So what will it be? Will you continue to exhaust yourself trying to control the tides? Or will you become the rock that the tides crash against, but can never move? Let the world throw its worst at you. Let it rage and twist and burn. Your task is not to fight it, but to transcend it. When you stop wasting energy on things outside your control, you unlock a terrifying strength. The strength to shape yourself into someone the storms can never break. And remember this, control isn't about domination, it's about liberation. It's the freedom to say, this is who I am. This is how I choose to respond. This is my unshakable ground. Let go of what you can't control, not as an act of surrender, but as an act of defiance. Because the world doesn't get to decide your peace. You do. Master your mind. Control your actions. Shape your attitude. And then watch as the world, in all its chaos, bows to the one thing it cannot conquer. You. Lesson 2. Live in accordance with nature. Have you ever wondered why life feels like a constant battle? Why every step forward seems to be met with resistance, chaos, or pain? It's because you've been fighting the wrong war. You've been wrestling with something unyielding, something eternal, the very nature of life itself. But let me ask you this. What if the chaos wasn't your enemy? What if it was your greatest teacher? The Stoics understood a truth most people are too afraid to confront. Life does not owe you comfort. It does not promise fairness or predictability. Nature, in all its infinite complexity, operates on its own terms, not yours. To live is to face storms, to stumble on rocky paths, to be thrown into fires you never asked for. But within this chaos lies order, an order you must learn to see, embrace, and align yourself with. To live in accordance with nature is not to shrink away from life's trials. It is to recognize that they are not interruptions. They are the essence of life. Challenges aren't obstacles in your path. They are the path. Pain isn't a curse. It's a forge. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every disappointment is shaping you, tempering you into something stronger, sharper, and more resilient. But only if you let it. Nature is neither cruel nor kind. It simply is. Seasons change, storms come, and the sun sets, regardless of your preferences or plans. The universe doesn't bend to your will, but it doesn't need to. You're not here to control it. You're here to align with it, to understand its rhythms, to flow with its currents, and to find peace. Not in avoiding hardship, but in mastering yourself within it. Ask yourself this: what does it mean to live virtuously? To live in harmony with reason and the universe? It means to stop fighting the inevitable and start embracing the truth. It means rejecting the lie that life should be easy or fair. Instead, it's about finding strength in your ability to endure, to adapt, to thrive in the face of whatever comes your way. Living in accordance with nature doesn't mean passively accepting your fate. It means actively choosing how you respond to it. It means realizing that while you cannot control the storms, you can control how you navigate through them. Do you crumble? Do you rage against the wind? Or do you stand tall, unshaken, knowing that storms are simply part of the great order. Nature rewards those who embrace it, not with material wealth or superficial comfort, but with something far greater: clarity, resilience, and a peace of mind. It's the understanding that life unfolds exactly as it should, not to serve your desires, but to reveal your strength. So when life tests you, and it will, don't ask, "Why me?" Instead ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow?" Because every challenge is an invitation to rise above, to align yourself with the natural order, to live in harmony with the truth of existence. And here's the ultimate truth: you are not separate from the universe. You are not its victim, nor its master. You are the universe. Its laws are your laws. Its challenges are your lessons. Its beauty, its chaos, its infinite complexity, all of it is within you. So, stop running. Stop resisting. Step into the storm, not as its enemy, but as its equal. Live virtuously. Live with reason. Live in accordance with nature. Because in doing so, you'll discover a strength that no chaos can break, a peace that no storm can shake, and a life that is not just endured, but fully and unapologetically lived. Lesson 3. Practice virtue above all else. We live in a world obsessed with illusions. Illusions of wealth, of pleasure, of power. Everywhere you turn, society whispers the same poisonous lie: that happiness lies out there, somewhere beyond you, in the shimmering glow of riches, in the fleeting thrill of indulgence, in the hollow applause of others. But you know better, don't you? Deep down, you've always known the truth. True happiness isn't found in what you can hold in your hands. It's found in who you become. And who you become is forged in the crucible of virtue. The Stoics understood that virtue, true, unwavering virtue, is the only good worth pursuing. Not the riches that can be stolen, not the pleasure that fades with the dawn, not the applause that vanishes the moment the crowd finds someone else to praise. Virtue stands alone, unbroken and unyielding. It is wisdom in the face of ignorance, courage in the face of fear, justice in the face of corruption, and temperance in the face of chaos. It is the foundation of a life that cannot be shaken, no matter how fierce the storm. But here's the harsh truth: virtue is not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not something you'll be rewarded for by the fickle world around you. Virtue demands everything of you. It demands that you rise above your base desires, that you reject the comforting lies of society, that you hold yourself to a standard most will never even attempt to reach. It demands that you look in the mirror and confront every flaw, every weakness, every excuse you've ever used to justify mediocrity. And that's why most people will never understand what it means to be truly happy. They chase pleasure, but pleasure enslaves them. They chase wealth, but wealth corrupts them. They chase power, but power devours them. They build their lives on foundations of sand. And when the waves come, as they always do, everything crumbles. But you have the chance to be different, to build your life on the unshakable foundation of virtue, to live with wisdom, choosing your path not out of ignorance or impulse, but with clarity and understanding, to live with courage, facing your fears and standing firm in the face of adversity, to live with justice, doing what is right, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary, and to live with temperance, mastering yourself and refusing to be ruled by the chaos of your emotions or the temptations of the world. This is not the path of the weak. It is not the path of the faint-hearted. It is the path of those who are willing to sacrifice comfort for greatness, to abandon the fleeting for the eternal, to endure suffering, knowing that true strength is born in struggle. The world will try to tempt you away from this path. It will dangle its trinkets in front of you, whispering promises of ease and pleasure. It will mock you for choosing virtue over vice, discipline over indulgence, truth over lies. Let it. Let the world play its games while you rise above it, untouchable, unshaken, unstoppable. Because here's the secret. Virtue is not just the path to happiness. It is happiness. The joy of knowing you've lived a life of integrity. The peace of knowing you've done what is right, even when no one was watching. The strength of knowing you are unbreakable because you've built your life on the only foundation that cannot be destroyed. So ask yourself, what kind of life will you choose? Will you chase the illusions that enslave so many? Or will you rise above, practicing virtue, not because it is easy, but because it is the only path worth walking? The choice is yours. But remember this, in the end, everything fades. Wealth, pleasure, power, even life itself. But virtue endures. Virtue is eternal, and those who live by it will leave this world, not empty-handed, but with a legacy carved in the hearts of those they touched, and a soul unshaken by the trials of existence. Practice virtue above all else. Live wisely. Live courageously. Live justly. Live temperately. And in doing so, live a life that even death cannot diminish. Lesson 4. Focus on rational thought. In the depths of chaos, where emotions run wild and desires whisper false promises, there is a single weapon that separates the strong from the weak, the masters from the enslaved. It is not brute strength, nor blind ambition. It is something far more powerful, far more enduring, rational thought. Think about this. What defines you as a human being? Is it your ability to feel, to want, to fear? Number. These things, as overwhelming as they may seem, are shared with animals, driven by instinct and impulse. What truly defines you, what sets you apart, is your capacity to think, to rise above the storms of emotion and see clearly, logically, truthfully. Rationality is your greatest gift, and yet, so few dare to wield it. Most people are prisoners of their own emotions, trapped in cycles of anger, fear, lust, and despair. They let fleeting feelings dictate their actions, their choices, their very lives. They are puppets, dancing to the strings of desire and impulse, blind to the fact that they hold the scissors to cut those strings at any moment. But you have a choice. You can take control. To focus on rational thought is to train your mind to become a fortress, impenetrable to the fleeting whims of emotion, unshaken by the chaos of the outside world. It is to sharpen your reason like a blade, cutting through the noise of irrationality, of fear, of weakness. It is to see things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be. Rationality does not deny emotion. It does not pretend that anger, sadness, or desire do not exist. Instead, it places them in their proper place, under your control, not the other way around. It allows you to feel without being ruled, to want without being consumed, to fear without being paralyzed. Rational thought is not the absence of emotion, it is mastery over it. But, let me warn you, this path is not easy. The world will tempt you with quick fixes, with fleeting pleasures, with the seductive lie that it's easier to act on instinct than to think. And yes, it is easier. But ease is the enemy of strength. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to rise above, if you want to truly live, you must be willing to fight against the pull of irrationality, to fight against the parts of yourself that would rather give in than rise up. Start now. Start by questioning everything. Question your fears. Are they real, or are they shadows cast by your mind? Question your desires. Are they leading you toward your goals? Or are they distractions pulling you off course? Question your anger, your jealousy, your despair. Do they serve you? Or are they chains holding you back? Rationality is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Train your mind relentlessly. Study your emotions. Dissect them. Understand them. Learn to pause before you act. To think before you speak. To weigh your choices not against what feels good in the moment, but against what will lead you to your higher self. The world is full of chaos, of unpredictability, of forces beyond your control. But your mind is yours. It is the one thing no one can take from you. The one thing you must master if you ever hope to master your life. So, let the storms rage. Let the noise rise. While the masses are swept away by their emotions, their desires, their impulses, you will stand firm. You will think clearly. You will act decisively. You will be unshaken, not because the world is kind to you, but because you have made yourself unbreakable. This is the power of rational thought. This is the gift of reason. Use it. Wield it. And watch as the world, chaotic and irrational as it may be, bends to the will of the one who can see it clearly. Focus on rational thought, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Not because it is comfortable, but because it is powerful. Train your mind, master your emotions, and take control of the life that is rightfully yours. The world may tempt you with chaos, but your mind will always be your sanctuary, your fortress, your weapon. Use it and become unstoppable. Lesson 5. Practice negative visualization. Close your eyes and imagine this. Everything you hold dear, your possessions, your health, your loved ones, gone in an instant. Imagine the worst-case scenario, the kind of loss that sends most people spiraling into despair. Now ask yourself, would you crumble or would you stand? The world fears this kind of thinking. It clings to the illusion that tomorrow will always come, that fortunes will always remain, that the things we cherish will last forever. But the truth is far darker and far more liberating. Everything you have, everything you love, is temporary. Life is impermanence. And it is in acknowledging this impermanence that you unlock a strength most people will never know. The Stoics called this negative visualization, the practice of confronting the worst before it happens. Not as an act of pessimism, but as an act of preparation. Because when you imagine the worst, when you face it in your mind, you strip it of its power. You rob it of its ability to catch you off guard. And when, inevitably, it comes knocking, you'll meet it not with fear, but with calm, unshakable resolve. Most people avoid this practice because it's uncomfortable. They tell themselves, why dwell on what could go wrong? Why think about losing what I have? But that avoidance, that willful ignorance, is a weakness, a chink in their armor that life will exploit. Because when the storm comes, as it always does, they are unprepared. They are shattered by what they refuse to confront. But you will not be caught unaware. You will not fall apart when the inevitable happens. You will have already walked through the fire in your mind. You will have already felt the sting of loss, the weight of hardship, and emerged stronger. And when reality mirrors your darkest imaginations, you will endure. Not because you were lucky, but because you were ready. But here's the secret that most miss. Negative visualization is not just about preparing for loss. It's about appreciating what you have while you have it. When you imagine losing everything, suddenly, the things you take for granted, the roof over your head, the people who love you, the air you breathe, become priceless. You see them for what they truly are, fleeting gifts, not guarantees. And in that awareness, Gratitude is born. Think about this. How often do you really stop and appreciate the things you claim to value most? How often do you truly feel grateful for the life you live, instead of complaining about what you lack? The practice of negative visualization forces you to confront the fragile nature of existence, to understand that nothing is owed to you. And in that understanding, you learn to savor every moment, every connection, every breath. But make no mistake, this practice is not for the weak. It requires courage to imagine losing the things you love. It takes strength to confront the worst and still rise. Most people would rather hide from these thoughts, living in a fragile bubble of false security. But you are not most people. You are stronger than that. You are willing to face the darkness, to walk through it, and come out on the other side, unbroken. So, practice this. Imagine the loss of everything you hold dear. Feel the weight of it. Let it burn into your mind. And then open your eyes and look at your life. See the things you have, not as entitlements, but as blessings. Appreciate them. Hold them close. But do not cling. Understand that they are temporary, and that their impermanence is what makes them valuable. Negative visualization is not about living in fear. It's about living with awareness. It's about facing the worst, so you can appreciate the best. It's about building a mind that cannot be shaken, a soul that cannot be destroyed, no matter what life takes from you. Because in the end, life will take everything. That is the nature of existence. But when you've prepared, when you've already faced the loss in your mind, you'll greet that reality not with despair, but with defiance. You'll say, I was ready for this. I lived fully. I loved deeply, and I endured. Practice negative visualization. Not to dwell on the darkness, but to master it. Not to fear loss, but to embrace life. Not to crumble under the weight of reality, but to rise above it with gratitude, with strength, and with the unshakable understanding that you are more than anything life can take from you. You are resilient. You are prepared. You are unstoppable. Lesson 6. Embrace adversity. What if I told you that every obstacle standing in your way, every hardship breaking you down, every challenge clawing at your resolve, is not your enemy, but your greatest ally? Would you still curse the storm? Or would you step into it willingly, knowing that it is the very thing that will forge you into something unbreakable? Life is pain. Life is struggle. Life is chaos. But life is also growth. And the only way to grow is through the fire. There's no shortcut. No way around it. You don't grow stronger by avoiding resistance. You grow stronger by embracing it. The Stoics understood this truth, and Marcus Aurelius captured it in words that echo through the ages. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let that sink in. The very thing you see as a roadblock is the path itself. The struggle isn't in your way, it is the way. The pain isn't a punishment, it's a lesson. And every obstacle you face is an invitation to rise, to evolve, to become. But here's the part that separates the strong from the weak. Most people run from adversity. They see it as unfair, as cruel, as something to avoid at all costs. And in their flight, they lose themselves. They lose the chance to grow. They lose the opportunity to become who they were meant to be. They choose comfort, and in doing so, they choose mediocrity. Not you. You know better. You understand that adversity is the forge that sharpens your blade, the weight that builds your strength, the fire that tempers your soul. You don't run from challenges, you run toward them. Because you know that every obstacle you overcome brings you closer to mastery. Every failure you endure teaches you a lesson you could never learn in comfort. Every ounce of pain you feel is fuel for your transformation. Look at your life. Look at the struggles you faced. Did they break you? Or did they reveal something within you that you didn't even know was there? Think of the times you've been brought to your knees. Did you stay there? Or did you rise, stronger, harder, more focused than before? Adversity doesn't destroy you. It strips away the unnecessary, leaving behind the core of who you truly are. But let me be clear. Embracing adversity doesn't mean enjoying it. Pain is pain. Loss is loss. Struggle is struggle. But within each of these lies an opportunity. The opportunity to grow, to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think, to show the world that no matter how many times you're knocked down, you will always rise again. Think of the greatest warriors, the greatest leaders, the greatest minds. Do you think they became great because life was kind to them? Number. They became great because they faced adversity head on. They didn't see obstacles as problems. They saw them as stepping stones. They didn't run from the fire. They walked into it, knowing it would forge them into something extraordinary. This is your choice. Will you curse the difficulties in your path? Or will you thank them for the opportunity they bring? Will you see adversity as an enemy to be feared, or as a challenge to be conquered? Life will never stop testing you. The storms will never stop coming. But you have a choice. You can let the storms drown you, or you can learn to navigate them. You can let the weight crush you, or you can use it to build your strength. You can let the darkness consume you, or you can become the light that cuts through it. Adversity is not the end. It is the beginning of your growth, the beginning of your transformation, the beginning of a life lived with purpose, with courage, with unshakable resolve. So embrace it. Embrace the struggle, the pain, the setbacks. See them for what they are, opportunities to become more than you were yesterday. Let adversity be your teacher, your forge, your proving ground. Because when you stop fearing it, when you start facing it, you'll realize that the only thing standing between you and your greatness is your willingness to embrace the fire. The obstacle is the path. The challenge is the opportunity. The adversity is the gift. Take it. Face it. Master it. And when the world looks at you, broken and battered but unyielding, it will know you are not a victim of life's hardships. You are the master of them. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you. Lesson 7. Live in the present moment. There's a prison that most people never escape. It's not built of steel bars or concrete walls, but of memories and fears, regrets about the past, and anxieties about the future. And the saddest part? This prison isn't locked. The door's wide open. But instead of walking free, most people choose to stay, shackled by what was, and terrified of what might be. Why? Because the present moment, the here and now, terrifies them even more. It demands something they're unwilling to give. Their full attention, their full effort, their full selves. But here's the truth you need to hear. The past is dead. The future is a ghost. The only thing that exists, the only thing that has ever existed, is this moment, right now. And yet, most people squander it. They live their lives looking backward, drowning in regrets they can never change. Or they live staring forward, consumed by fears of a future that doesn't even exist yet. They are everywhere but here, and in doing so, they miss the only thing that matters, the present. Ask yourself, how much of your life have you wasted? How many moments have you spent replaying your mistakes, wishing you could rewrite them, knowing full well you can't? How many hours have you spent worrying about a future you can't control, robbing yourself of the energy you need to face it when it comes? You're not living. You're surviving, trapped in a mind that refuses to let you be free. But you can break the cycle. You can escape the prison. All it takes is the courage to step into this moment, fully and completely. Not half-heartedly. Not with one foot in the past and one in the future, but with everything you are. Because this moment, this single breath, this single heartbeat, is all you'll ever truly have. The Stoics knew this. They knew that life isn't measured in years or decades, but in moments. They knew that regret and fear are illusions, distractions designed to pull you away from the now. And they knew that to live fully, to live powerfully, you must embrace the present, no matter how difficult, no matter how uncertain. Think about this. How many opportunities have you missed because you were too busy dwelling on the past or fearing the future? How many times have you held back, hesitated, because your mind was somewhere else? Every moment you spend trapped in regret or anxiety is a moment you lose forever. And once it's gone, it's gone. No force in the universe can bring it back. But here's the good news. You don't have to live this way. You don't have to be a prisoner of time. You can choose right now to step into the present and take control of your life. You can choose to focus not on what was or what might be, but on what is. Because the present is where action happens. It's where decisions are made. It's where life is lived. So stop wasting time wishing you could change the past. Stop wasting energy worrying about the future. Focus on what you can do, right here, right now. Ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? What action can I take? What choice can I make that will bring me closer to the person I want to become? Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future. It means refusing to be controlled by them. It means using the past as a lesson, not a chain. It means preparing for the future, but not fearing it. It means understanding that the only power you have, the only power you will ever have, is in this moment. This is where strength is built. This is where courage is born. This is where life happens. So seize it. Own it. Do not squander another second dwelling on what you cannot change or control. Live with intensity. Live with purpose. Live as though this moment is all you have, because it is. And when the end comes, as it inevitably will, you'll face it without regret, without fear, because you'll know that you didn't waste your life chasing shadows. You lived fully, moment by moment, with strength, with courage, with everything you had. You lived in the now, and that made all the difference. The present is your battlefield. Fight for it. Claim it. Master it. Because in the end, the present is all there is, and all there will ever be. Lesson 8. Memento Mori. Remember you will die. Look around you. This world, this life you're living, feels endless, doesn't it? Days blend into weeks, weeks into years, and you move through it all as if you'll live forever. But let me remind you of a truth you spend your life trying to ignore. You will die. Not someday far in the future. Not in some vague, distant moment that doesn't feel real. No, your death is coming. It's closer than you think. With every breath you take, with every second that slips through your fingers, it creeps closer. The clock has been ticking since the moment you were born, and it won't stop for you. It won't pause because you're scared, because you're too busy, or because you have plans. Death doesn't care. It is inevitable. It is absolute. This truth terrifies most people. They run from it, burying themselves in distractions, in trivial pursuits, in the noise of a world designed to make them forget. They cling to petty complaints, to fleeting pleasures, to hollow ambitions, pretending that tomorrow is guaranteed. But it isn't. Your tomorrow is not promised. Your days are numbered, and you don't even know the number. But here's the secret that the brave few understand. Death is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher, your most powerful motivator. It strips away the illusions, the excuses, the lies you tell yourself to justify wasting your life. When you truly embrace the fact that you will die, you begin to live. Ask yourself this: if today was your last day, would you be proud of how you've lived? Would you be satisfied with the choices you've made, the time you've spent, the person you've become? Or would you be filled with regret for all the moments you let slip away, for all the dreams you abandoned, for all the chances you were too afraid to take? Memento mori. Remember you will die. This is not a morbid thought. It's a call to arms. It's a reminder that your time is finite, that every breath, every heartbeat, every moment is precious. Life is not measured by the years you live, but by the meaning you bring to those years. And meaning doesn't come from wasting time on petty grievances, chasing material wealth, or seeking the approval of others. Meaning comes from living with purpose, from embracing each moment as if it were your last, from daring to be authentic, no matter the cost. Death does not wait. It doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't care if you've accomplished your goals or made peace with your past. When it comes, it comes. And when it does, all that will matter is how you've lived. Did you love deeply? Did you fight for what mattered? Did you face your fears, or did you let them rule you? Did you waste your life chasing shadows? Or did you create something real, something lasting, something that will echo even after you're gone? The awareness of death is not meant to paralyze you. It's meant to set you free. Free from the fear of failure, because failure means nothing in the face of mortality. Free from the fear of judgment, because the opinions of others are fleeting and meaningless. Free from the chains of procrastination, because time is a gift you can never get back. So stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect time to start living. That moment is now, right now. This breath, this heartbeat, this second, this is all you truly have. Use it. Seize it. Fill it with something meaningful, something real. Live boldly. Love fiercely. Work tirelessly for the things that matter. Chase your dreams, not because you'll live forever, but because you won't. Don't waste another second on trivial pursuits, on meaningless distractions, on complaints about a life you refuse to take control of. When your time comes, and it will, let death find you alive. Let it find you fighting, striving, creating, living a life that mattered. Let it find you without regret, without fear, without unfinished business. Let it find you as someone who understood that the inevitability of death is not a curse, but a gift, a reminder to live fully, to love deeply, to embrace the fleeting beauty of existence. Memento mori. Remember you will die, and because of that, remember to truly live. Lesson 9. Detach from external validation. Let me ask you something. Who are you living for? Is it for yourself or for the fleeting approval of others? Be honest. Because for most people, their worth, their identity, their very sense of existence is chained to one thing: external validation. They live for the applause, the likes, the empty compliments. They bend themselves into shapes they don't even recognize, just to gain a nod of approval from people who wouldn't flinch if they disappeared tomorrow. They chase status, possessions, and recognition, hoping that these things will fill the void inside them. But they never do. Because here's the truth. You will never find yourself in someone else's reflection. The Stoics understood this. They knew that true self-worth comes from within, not from titles or trophies, not from the approval of a crowd that forgets you the moment you stop performing, and not from possessions that rot and decay as easily as you do. Real strength, real peace, comes from detaching yourself from all of it, from severing the chains that bind you to the shallow, fleeting judgments of the world. Think about it. How much of your energy do you waste trying to impress people who don't matter? How many of your decisions are driven not by your own values, but by the fear of being judged or the desperate need to be liked? How much of your life have you spent wearing masks, playing roles, pretending to be someone you're not, just to hear a few hollow words of approval? You don't need it. You never did. The opinions of others are fickle, temporary, meaningless. They shift like the wind, and if you let them dictate your worth, you'll spend your life chasing shadows. The more you chase, the emptier you'll feel. And one day, you'll look back and realize that you gave away your power, your freedom, your life, all for the sake of people who are too busy chasing their own validation to even notice. But there's another way, a harder way, yes, but a freer one. Detach. Step back from the noise, the applause, the judgment. Stop looking outward for your worth and start looking inward. What do you value? What do you stand for? What kind of life do you want to build? Not for the world to see, but for yourself to live. When you detach from external validation, you reclaim your power. You become untouchable. When the crowd cheers for you, you don't let it inflate your ego. When they jeer or ignore you, you don't let it crush your spirit. Their opinions become irrelevant, like whispers in a storm, because you've built your foundation on something they can't touch. Your own values, your own actions, your own truth. This isn't easy. It requires brutal honesty. It requires you to strip away the masks, to confront the parts of yourself that crave approval, that fear rejection. It requires you to walk away from the crowd, to stand alone in the silence of your own mind and ask, who am I when no one is watching? But once you do, you'll discover something incredible. Freedom. Freedom from the exhausting need to please. Freedom from the fear of judgment. Freedom to live a life that's authentic, meaningful, and yours. You'll no longer waste time chasing recognition, because you'll already have something far more valuable: self-respect. Detach from the applause. Detach from the criticism. Detach from the empty rewards the world offers in exchange for your soul. And focus on what truly matters: your character, your integrity, your actions. Let your happiness come not from what others think of you, but from knowing you've lived in alignment with your own values. Let your worth be defined not by their fleeting approval, but by the unshakable truth of who you are. The world will still scream at you. It will try to pull you back, to tempt you with its shallow rewards, to punish you with its judgments. Let it scream. Let it try. And then let it pass, like the meaningless noise it is. Because once you've detached, once you've reclaimed your power, nothing the world does can touch you. You'll stand apart, unshaken, free. So stop looking outward. Stop living for others. Live for yourself. Build your worth on something real, something eternal. Detach from external validation and watch as the chains fall away, as the noise fades into silence, and as you rise, unbound, unstoppable, and truly alive. Lesson 11. Help others and contribute to the greater good. What do you stand for? What drives you? If your life ended today, would the world notice your absence? Would your existence leave behind echoes, or would it fade into nothingness, like a whisper lost in the wind? This world doesn't revolve around you. That's a bitter pill for most to swallow, but it's the truth. You are not the center of the universe. You are part of something far greater. And yet, most people live like parasites, taking from the world, feeding their egos, hoarding wealth, and offering nothing of value in return. They live in service of themselves, blind to the fact that this selfishness leads to emptiness, not fulfillment. But you can be different. You must be different. Because the real measure of a life isn't what you take, it's what you give. It's not about how much you accumulate, how many trophies you collect, or how loudly people cheer your name. It's about the impact you leave behind. It's about the lives you touch, the pain you ease, the light you bring into a world that desperately needs it. The Stoics understood this. They knew that true fulfillment isn't found in isolation or selfish ambition, but in service to others. They knew that humanity is a web, interconnected and interdependent. When you uplift others, you uplift yourself. When you contribute to the greater good, you align with something eternal, something far greater than yourself. But let me make one thing clear. Helping others isn't about glory. It's not about recognition or applause. If you're seeking praise, you've already lost. Service is not glamorous. It's often thankless, unnoticed, and misunderstood. You don't help others to feed your ego. You help because it's the right thing to do. Because it's what gives your life meaning. Because it's what makes you human. This isn't about being a savior. You're not here to fix the world single-handedly. The world doesn't need a hero. It needs people willing to do the work, no matter how small, no matter how uncelebrated. It needs people who see the suffering, the injustice, the brokenness, and say, "Not on my watch." But make no mistake, helping others isn't easy. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you set aside your pride, your comfort, your selfish desires. It demands that you confront the darkness in the world and within yourself. Because helping others isn't just about easing their burdens. It's about showing them what it means to live virtuously. It's about embodying the strength, the courage, the wisdom they need to see. It's about being an example of what's possible, even when the odds are stacked against you. Think of the impact you could have. One act of kindness, one moment of courage, one choice to serve, instead of take. That's all it takes to change someone's life. And when you change one life, you create ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. The person you help today might go on to help someone else tomorrow. And so the cycle continues, building something far greater than you could ever accomplish alone. This is the paradox of service. In giving, you receive. In helping others, you find yourself. In contributing to the greater good, you discover the kind of fulfillment that wealth, fame, and power can never provide. Because true fulfillment doesn't come from what you gain, it comes from what you give away. So ask yourself, what kind of legacy will you leave behind? Will you be remembered as someone who took and consumed, or as someone who gave and created? Will you leave behind a trail of destruction, or a path of light for others to follow? This isn't about martyrdom. It's about purpose. It's about stepping into your role as a member of humanity, as someone who understands that we rise or fall together. It's about recognizing that the strength you build in yourself isn't just for you. It's for the people around you, the community, the society, the world. When you help others, you are not weak. You are not soft. You are powerful. You are dangerous. To the selfishness, to the greed, to the apathy that infects this world. When you contribute to the greater good, you become unstoppable. Because no force in the universe can break someone who has found their purpose in service to something greater. So rise. Look beyond yourself. See the pain, the need, the opportunity to make a difference. Act not for applause, but because it is who you are. Let your strength serve others. Let your courage inspire them. Let your wisdom guide them. And in doing so, you will find a fulfillment that no external reward could ever provide. This is how you truly live. Not by taking, but by giving. Not by standing alone, but by lifting others up. This is how you create a legacy that will endure long after you're gone. Help others, contribute to the greater good, and in doing so, become a force that cannot be forgotten. Lesson 12. Be grateful for what you have. You wake up every day, and what's the first thing you do? Complain? Focus on what you don't have? Compare your life to someone else's and feel the sting of envy? You look at your world through the eyes of scarcity, blind to the abundance that surrounds you. And that blindness, it's killing you. Slowly, insidiously, it's robbing you of the peace and power that could be yours. Let me remind you of a truth you've forgotten. You already have more than most people will ever dream of. No, I'm not talking about material wealth. I'm talking about the simple fact that you're alive. You're breathing. Your heart is beating. You have another chance, another day, to make something of yourself, to change your path, to fight for what matters. But instead of embracing that, you squander it, chasing shadows of what you think you need to be happy. Gratitude isn't weakness. It isn't settling. It's strength. It's the ultimate rebellion against a world that constantly screams, "You're not enough. You don't have enough. You need more." Gratitude says, "No. I see what I have, and I am richer than you'll ever understand." Gratitude is a weapon, and it's one you need to start wielding. Because here's the dark truth. Life doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't care about your wants, your dreams, or your expectations. It will take from you without warning. It will strip you down to nothing if you let it. And when that happens, and it will happen, what will you hold on to? Will you collapse into despair, mourning what you've lost? Or will you stand firm, grounded in the knowledge that even in the darkest moments, there is something to be grateful for? Gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about ignoring pain or pretending you're content when you're not. It's about perspective. It's about recognizing that no matter how bad things get, there is always something to hold on to, something to fight for. It's about seeing the world for what it is, not a perfect paradise, but a battlefield where every victory, no matter how small, matters. Look at your life. Really look at it. Are you so blind that you can't see the gifts right in front of you? The people who care about you, the opportunities you've been given, the simple, profound miracle of existing in this moment, right now. These things are not guaranteed. They can be taken from you in an instant, and when they're gone, you'll wish you'd cherished them while you had the chance. Gratitude is not passive. It's not sitting back and saying, "This is enough." It's the fuel that drives you to make the most of what you have. It's the fire that pushes you to fight harder, to climb higher, to never stop growing. Because when you recognize the blessings in your life, you stop wasting time chasing things that don't matter. You stop feeding the lie that happiness lies somewhere outside yourself, in things you don't yet have. Abundance isn't about what you own. It's about how you perceive your life. Two people can stand in the same storm. One sees only the rain, the mud, the chaos. The other sees the opportunity to grow stronger, to find shelter, to appreciate the calm that will inevitably follow. Which one will you be? Stop waiting for the world to give you more. Stop wasting your energy wishing for things you don't have. Look at what's in your hands right now. Look at what you've survived, what you've built, what you've been given. Be grateful for it. Not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. And here's the secret. Gratitude doesn't just change how you see your life. It changes how you live it. When you're grateful, you stop wasting energy on bitterness, on envy, on regret. You focus on what matters. You fight for what matters. You build a life that, no matter how imperfect, is yours. And that is a life worth living. So stop complaining. Stop comparing. Stop taking your blessings for granted. Be grateful, not in some shallow performative way, but in a raw, visceral way that lights a fire in your soul. Gratitude is power. Gratitude is resilience. Gratitude is freedom. Look at your life and see it for what it is. A gift, a battle, a fleeting moment in time that you'll never get back. Don't waste it wishing for more. Don't waste it blind to what you already have. Be grateful. Fight harder. Live fully. Because abundance isn't out there. It's already within you. Warriors, as this chapter ends, remember this. The fight doesn't stop when the video does. The battles you face out there, in the chaos of the world, in the depths of your mind, are where your true strength is forged. Each day is another test, another opportunity to rise above the distractions, the temptations, and the noise that seek to pull you down. If today's message resonated with you, if it lit a fire in your soul, or reminded you of the path you were born to walk, then take action. Hit that subscribe button on both GrimFace Motivation and GrimFace Financial, and become part of a movement that refuses to bow to mediocrity. Share this video with those who need to hear it, those who are ready to step into the warrior's path. This is more than just a channel. This is a call to arms, a reminder that in a world where honor and integrity are fading, it's up to us to hold the line. It's up to us to build lives of meaning, discipline, and purpose, to conquer our goals, to inspire others to do the same. Remember, the path of the warrior is not for the weak, but you're not here because you seek comfort. You're here because you seek greatness. Keep fighting. Keep growing. Keep moving forward. And when the world tries to break you, stand firm, knowing that you are part of something greater. You are GrimFace. Until next time, warriors, stay disciplined, stay focused, and stay relentless. We'll see you in the next video. Honor, integrity, and the warrior spirit. Together, we will conquer.